Hello, and welcome to the Wild Wellbeing Show. Today we talk about dragon eggs, otherwise known as durian. Durian is a fruit from Southeast Asia. You can, in many places around the world, you can buy it in Chinatown. It's available in this form. This is quite a reasonably small sized one. The variety is Montong durian, which is famous for being one of the tastiest, nicest varieties and the most commonly available. Some of the other ingredients we've got here today is the fresh frozen durian, Cock brand. We've also got a fresh young Thai coconut, and we also have one that I've peeled down for demonstration purposes. When I'm opening a coconut, you can see what I'm doing. The other ingredients that we are playing with today in our Durian Delight smoothie is some Divine Organics pure vanilla powder, some organic cinnamon powder, some wonderful Ariba Nacional cacao nibs, and some of the other things we could throw in there is some fresh harvested chaga powdered up, and some organic forest wildcrafted raw honey. So, what we're going to do, we're going to show everyone about this wonderful fruit called a durian. Durian is known as the king of fruits in Southeast Asia. I've been enjoying durian since about the year 2000, when I was first taken to a durian, all-you-can-eat durian place in North London. Now, it is not a cheap fruit, especially the fresh variety. It is highly prized, and it's highly prized for many reasons. Apart from being an amazing aphrodisiac, it's probably most famed for its pong or stink. Many places in Southeast Asia there's signs up with a durian symbol and a big cross through it, because you're not allowed to open them in public, you're not allowed to take them on planes, take them into hotels or public spaces, because when they're really ripe they can really pong. And the smell, some people can find quite offensive. In fact, it's a very sulphurous, sort of gassy smell. It can smell a bit like rotten eggs or rotten onions or cheesy feet from someone who's just done a couple of marathons. But don't let that put you off. This is not known as the king of fruits and isn't so highly prized for no reason. The smell, you can think of it as like the thorns on a rose. The thorns on the rose kind of are a defense to keep people away from maybe over-picking roses. And many things in nature have this sort of paradoxical quality to them, where they've got something really beautiful and something really sort of potentially nasty to keep people from over-appreciating the beauty, you could say. So you can get a wonderful buzz of eating fresh durian. I really recommend to anyone when they do it, when you have your first durian, it's got to be an amazing ripe durian. There's many ways to pick a ripe durian. This is a very ripe durian. The main ways that you can tell on this durian how ripe it is: one, that the stalk has fallen off. It's normally got quite a little woody stem on it. Another way you can tell is that you can see in between the spikes here, we've got some white lines. Now when it's not ripe, those white lines aren't there. The riper it gets, the more cracks, the more those white lines appear, and those white lines quite often may turn into a crack, where you can actually see into the durian, along the fault lines, you could say. So here we go. That is some fresh durian. It's got the creaminess of an avocado, it's got the sweetness of a tropical fruit, bits of banana, rich in carbohydrate and potassiumness. It's also very rich in sulphur, which is what gives it the sulphury smell. It also has large amounts of trace minerals such as copper and manganese, as well as magnesium. It's a very high in carbohydrate and calorie content food, but it's excellent quality calories. And it's also very rich in fat, like an avocado. So the richness of the fat in there helps delay and spread out the sugar rush and the fruit sugars, helping them be released into your body more slowly so that you get a more prolonged energy. These are excellent for yoga because they're so rich in sulphur, which increases flexibility. You could do a marathon if you'd had a durian for breakfast. All kinds of exercise it's great for. The other thing that it's famous for being richest in is tryptophan, which gets metabolized into both serotonin, the happy chemical in your brain, and melatonin, which allows us to have better dreams and better sleep activity and balances our neurochemistry. So the recipe we're doing today, we're actually going to use the frozen durian. Some of the benefits of the frozen durian are, one, you can always guarantee its freshness, because you don't really want to spend 15 to 30 pounds on a fresh durian and it not to be the ripest durian, the most lovely durian, because it's a bit of a letdown. It comes in these two little wrapped up pockets, and we can just undo them like a candy wrapper, and we end up with, got to be careful to take the plastic off and not leave bits of the plastic attached to it. So we can just take a knife, cut it in lengthways. If you leave it out for a few minutes after it's been out of the freezer, it'll soften enough to cut. If it's straight out of a really cold freezer, it'll be like trying to cut a cold rock. The other main ingredient in this smoothie, we can use any nut milk, or if we're into it, we can use some biodynamic, outdoor reared, organic, unpasteurized, raw cow's milk. If that's something that agrees with us, we can get it from the farmer's market, and that can be a wonderful addition to this smoothie. Next up, we have the coconut. For those, we can do in a more detailed video all the ways that you can open a fresh coconut. I'll quickly, in less detail, go through my favourite way, which is to get a nice sharp blade, preferably not a really expensive knife with a really fine blade like this one. We'll go for a basic cleaver or chopper that's nice and sharp. Now, it's possible to crack them open without shaving them first. I find you get a lot more accuracy, and it's a lot easier to go the whole way of opening the coconut if we shave it off first. Now you can do that with most kitchen knives, given they're sharp enough, but essentially we want to get down to this hard woody core rather than this soft, spongy, fibrous thing. Because once we know where the inside woody core is, we can know exactly where to hit on that to open it. So you can just whack that a couple of times. It's a particularly hard one. Once you've just cracked into the coconut, enough so you can just, basically you just want to get enough of a blade edge in that you can just prise that open and twist it, and a whole nice section will come away. We'll get between like 200 mils of coconut water to even up to a litre in a huge coconut. Next, we can, depending on the thickness of the meat, we can either use our fingers to pry it off the edges, or the back of a spoon, or even the front of a spoon. Sometimes works better than the back of a spoon. And we're really just aiming to get all that coconut meat out. So, here we have the coconut. We're going to add just a little bit of the water, enough to blend the fleshy coconut meat into a puree. There it goes. So really, we want to blend that till it's lovely, smooth and creamy, because that can be the harder, more fibrous part. Then we can start adding in the frozen durian while it's still really nice and cold, so we get an ice cream consistency with maybe a bit more of the coconut water. Really, we're taking this blender to capacity. I think I'm a little over the maximum. Now that is a gorgeous smoothie on its own, but really to top it off, we want to make it the most delightful durian delight ever. Then a couple of spoonfuls, maybe 3 for luck, to make it a chopped chip with real 100% chocolate chips. A little pinch of either vanilla essence or vanilla powder, a few drops of essence, or half a teaspoon of powder. Depending on how sweet the durian is and how sweet the coconuts are, we always have the option to add a little bit of extra sweetener. My favourite being would be coconut sugar or a little bit of raw honey. The other things that we can add in include a bit of chaga powder. It's got a very vanilla-y flavour that could go well with this. but it definitely goes well with this and takes it to that next dimension of superfooddom. And a little shake of organic cinnamon. Now, I don't know if you heard that little gasp in the background, but that is someone waiting with bated breath for the durian delight. So you can maybe serve that a few extra cacao nibs sprinkled on top. Here's to the most outrageously outstanding breakfast of all time.